show you my art process going through this one panel from chapter 278 of Bribob, and I'm going to talk about it in a lot of detail. So first off, this is a portrait of Greg here, and so in this comic he has just stumbled upon Steven morphing from a form that looks like rose quartz to pink diamond. And so in the panels leading up to this one, here we go. Garnet warns Steven, don't hold on to Rose's form, it'll traumatize Greg. And then, so Steven morphs up into pink diamond and says, and this form won't traumatize him. And so I wanted this very specific reaction, and I want to think about all the details that go into it, because in the show he had a very visceral reaction to Amethyst morphing into Rose, and he like cowered and hid and couldn't look her in the eyes. So this is a scene where it's not as direct as the confrontation with Amethyst was. This is where Greg is walking up in the background, sees the silhouette of Rose, and then sees the transformation into pink diamond. And then we have this panel. So I'm trying to think about all the layers of fear, horror, confusion, hesitation, and also still caring about Steven underneath it all, and trying to figure out and piece together, you know, what's happening here. Is Rose back? Is Rose gone? Is Steven pulling a really cruel joke on me? Like, all of these thoughts that are going through Greg's head in this panel. So I wanted to take those all into consideration. And so I like this face that I've landed on here. And then I'm going to go through and outline it now. So I actually, I took a reference photo of myself, and I tried to capture the exact expression I wanted. And so I noticed these two lines are really important here to show like the mouth contorting. And then it's interesting when an art style is condensed and simplified, like having a couple lines can really emphasize certain aspects of the face. So having these two little lines for like the eye bags show a lot more stress than if they weren't there, sort of thing. And then the furrowed brow over here. He kind of has a little bit of a square-ish head shape, so might be a little bit too square. Okay. So I think it looks good. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. And I'll get some of the colors I'm gonna use. Hopefully this one still has some ink in it. This is an E44. I use probably the E44 Copic the most out of like any Copic in my collection, because it's really versatile and I can use it for a lot of different things, especially in like background settings and in shading. And if any character has like a lightish brown hair color, this is a great base. E44. So it works for Greg here too. And then I have to remember Greg's tan. So he has I didn't add a line for it, but there'll be a distinction right here for that. So Okay. And then let's try light. This is a YR02 from Copic. Let's try that for the, it's a little, I might go with a different one, so I'll just do shading. Oh, yeah, and I forgot it there. Okay. So I need to be careful about this. Okay, I like that so far. And now I'm gonna go in with a slightly lighter color. Let's try YR61 from Copic. So. I like that. And then I'm gonna go in with, let's try R01. Oh man, okay, this one's a little beaten up. Okay, it seems fine. Let's see. Okay, and then sometimes for the mouth color, I'm just gonna go with black instead of like a dark red. It's just make it pop more. Okay. And then I can actually go in a little bit with the E44 again for some more shading. So the way I build up colors with Copics is lighter to darker, and I usually go pretty gradually, so yeah. It helps me if something doesn't look right, and I don't immediately go to the darkest color because it's harder to lighten those areas back up once you lay down alcohol markers. So. I'm gonna add one more color here. Let's try E77. Let's try that. I want it to be a very uncomfortable, a very disturbed looking Greg here, but I also want it to make it, I want to make it look like he's having to take in all of this information, and it's like stunning him and disturbing him at the same time, so. Yeah, I think I kind of messed up the highlight right here, so I'm gonna see if I can. Okay, it looks a little strange, but that's fine. And I think that's pretty decent. One thing that also helps make it pop or make a scene a little bit more unsettling is adding harsh shading to the eyeballs themselves. So let's see. Just that little extra, it like really usually makes them look a little more off-putting. I can even go in with a little bit more gray here. This is a warm gray from Kalia Art. Oh, okay. Okay, now one thing to help make it even more spectacular is going back in with, let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Okay, well, this will work. I can't find the other one, but this is a 08 nib from Graby. And adding some thicker line weight onto certain areas. And even adding some really harsh contouring. So these lines here are to help emphasize the mouth being so downturned that it's like causing extra creases on the side of like a grimace. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So one thing I'm noticing is the distinction between Greg's tan line is a little bit, it's so subtle you can't really see it. So I'm gonna go in with YR02 again. And I'm just gonna make it a little bit more obvious if there's a tan line. All right. Okay, I think it looks awesome. And then, oh yeah, the sky. Let's do, I used a couple different blues for the sky. Let's try this one from Kalia Art again. This one's B201. So I think I can add some clouds to give like a little bit more so the background isn't so flat. So I'm gonna take this acrylic paint pen from Art X and just add some Steven Universe clouds. So they're pretty subtle, but that's okay. Alright, and that is how I think out my process and how I draw this kind of Bribob panel. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. And I hope this tutorial helped you out.